We humans are very complex and have a lot of fears. One of the worst is the fear of failure, isn't it? We all know how that looks like, but there is one which is even worse and even more subtly and mentally challenging that exists there for some of us in the subconscious. And that is the fear of success. Hello, I'm Vlad from ReikiScoop.com. And welcome to today's video. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the fear of success. Before starting, considering offering a thumbs up, subscribing so that other Reiki practitioners, spiritual practitioners, and other Reiki teachers or enthusiasts might find content just as this one. With that being said, let's get into the subject. While I'm not a psychologist, fear of success basically translates from a psychological perspective, and not only, also from an energetic perspective, as a moment, as a feeling of feeling unworthy. It translates as not being able to offer love, not being able to offer respect, not being able to offer that sense of worthiness, the sense of receiving love, appreciation for yourself. And if you cannot feel that for you, it's very difficult to feel it for others. I don't want to digress. I just want to mention that fear of success basically has its foundation in feelings of unworthiness and feelings of being overwhelmed with the fact that you have to become someone else. If you succeed, you have to change certain patterns. If you succeed, you have to change vibrations, mentalities. You have to change your psychology. You have to change perhaps parts of your life that felt very comfortable, didn't they? And it's just too much and too much of a burden. And it feels like everything's crumbling instead of viewing things very differently as they truly are, that it's nothing crumbling, but everything is evolving, it's changing, and change means evolution, and evolution is sacred. So instead of viewing this fear of success, having this fear of success and believing that we are unworthy of succeeding because we have to change in a certain way and develop our mentality and our lives in a certain way, perhaps there's a way to tackle the fear of success. And I mean that from an energetic perspective, but also from a psychological one. So instead of maybe spending time with taking certain pills because you feel like going crazy because you have this fear of success, maybe you should take a step back, have a glass of water, breathe, meditate, and try to find out what's the reason for you of why you have the fear of success. Could be laziness, procrastination, as I mentioned, unworthiness. That's the universal reason. Could be other reasons. Could be because you don't feel ready to face certain aspects of your life, because not only because you feel comfortable, but because you feel like you already have a lot of responsibilities, and you might be right with that. But that doesn't mean that you should not evolve, because there are certain opportunities that may not repeat too soon or at all in your lifetime. So, from a psychological perspective, maybe you should just take things easy. If you see a clear path that kind of leads to success, or at least a part of the success, that you can tap into the concept of success, because the first stages would lead to other stages, and the other stages will lead to better stages. And at one point, that's where success, at least from your perspective, will be present. So instead of worrying of success being 1 kilometer away, 1 mile away, maybe you should see what happened in the first 10 feet, in the first few meters in front of you. Just take the first steps. See where that leads you. Remain there a little bit. Don't stagnate. This is not about stagnation or procrastination. On the contrary, these are small steps towards integrating, crystallizing the feeling of success, crystallizing the idea of evolution. Again, it's a slow process, but perhaps it might be just the best way for you for understanding how success would work. Now, if time is of the essence and that opportunity will just fade away in a short amount of time, perhaps you need to take bigger steps and you cannot wait that much in those moments, still, I'm sure you can take those steps and take your breath, catch your breath within those moments instead of going full force marathon and feeling exhausted almost at the end. So that's a psychological approach. Now, each person has their own path. Each person maybe views success differently. Each person views or has the path towards success different than other people. But we should all be reasonable and see what we need to function at our best, and then maybe have a little bit more so we can go beyond that and maybe spread that abundance. And I'm not talking only about financial abundance, that's included, but there's more to abundance than just financial abundance. So reaching a state in which we have above the best for us and we can share with others. We can share with the dear ones. We can help those that are in need that maybe helped us at one point, and show respect towards their attitude. And even if there was nobody that helped us at one point, at least we can share with people that need more need our support more, need our attention more, or need even financial support at one point. So even if the best looks for you pretty close, you're pretty close to it, doesn't mean that you shouldn't go one step forward, not because of greed, not because of what you think that you want to see how much you can achieve and test yourself and push yourself. You can do that, but that's not really always the healthy way. It's not a bad way, but it's not always the healthy way. But to have a little bit more so you can spread that love. You know what I'm trying to say. Love means abundance. Love is also included in abundance, as I mentioned. So abundance is not just about financial gain, it's also about spiritual wealth. But from an energetic perspective, what happens? How can we tackle this fear of success? And what's the connection between the energetic anatomy and chakras, energetic channels, or an energy flow and fear of success? Well, as I mentioned, those elements and feelings of unworthiness or fear or stress, anxiety, that maybe we will achieve what we have set as a goal and it will be too much for us to digest, too much to handle, too much for us to change and to get out of the comfort zone. Don't you think that those feelings, emotions, address certain levels of consciousness? And which are the gates of consciousness? Those are the chakras. Those are the gateways towards different stages of consciousness. They are the gateways to different vibrations, different energies within the spectrum of our body. And I'm talking about the 7 primary chakras. There are more chakras outside and within the body area, but I'm talking about the 7 primary chakras. So, generally speaking, of course, you should address all 7 of them through Reiki symbols, meditation, visualization, even motivation, exercise, whatever comes to you that's more comfortable, or even all of them would be ideal. However, the feelings of unworthiness and the fear of success and achievement related also to the changing of comfort, of renouncing the comfort you have right now, address the heart chakra, one of the chakras. One of the main chakras that is connected to this idea is the heart chakra, to be more exact. And that's for the feelings of unworthiness, because you are worthy. You know that. And nobody says you have to run all the marathon at once, as I mentioned. Maybe you need to take some baby steps or bigger steps than baby steps, but you don't need to take all the huge steps at once. Few can. And even if they can, most of them, again, as I mentioned, they find themselves exhausted at the finish line. So you don't need to do always, don't need to always take this kind of action. That being said, the heart chakra. And even now, you can place your palm on the heart chakra. You can activate your palms. You can add symbols if you're attuned to Reiki with the Reiki symbols, level 2 or higher. Place your dominant or non-dominant hand on the heart chakra as we are watching. The comfort part, and the part that is the most difficult to change from the spiritual and energetic body spectrum. I'm laughing because my teacher has done this with me, and this was about self-sabotage, and that's really connected to it. Basically, it's like the feelings of unworthiness or self-absorption in a sense of not being able to do certain things is connected to self-sabotage, obviously. Self-sabotage is related to which structure? Well, the inner self, the spirit, the part of you that's not the soul, but the spirit, the essence of your existence. And the vital energy of this existence is your own vital energy, and that's the Kundalini energy. The inner self is located and coiled up at the second chakra, the sacral chakra. And if there is going to be any true, deep, rooted change, that's what it's going to be. So you're going to put your second palm, whichever it is, under the belly button, under the navel, half an inch. That's the sacral chakra. And it has a back projection in the lumbar area. So you might want to address that in a Reiki session a little bit longer than usual. The heart chakra also has a back projection, which is related to past traumas, past emotional traumas, past elements that you didn't express from an emotional perspective, feelings, thoughts, emotions. But for now, we're going to focus on the present. And we're going to just keep our palms on the heart chakra, one palm, and on the sacral chakra, the second palm. And relax. And close your eyes. And breathe. Place your tongue on the roof of the mouth for connecting the main meridians, Renmai and Dumai. And just relax. And breathe deeply. And you can repeat after me, if you want, mentally or verbally. I am opened and I invite success into my life. I am changing the right elements in my life for my greater good. I receive and I'm engulfed in abundance, health, and wisdom every day of my life. I am worthy and I embrace success. I am able and I'm changing all the elements that are needed for my greater good on all levels. I invite and manifest health, abundance, and wisdom every day of my life. I invite success and I'm worthy of success each day of my life. I am changing all the necessary elements for my greater good. I'm ready to receive, embrace, and manifest abundance, health, and wisdom on all levels each day of my life. Breathe. I am worthy of success, and I embrace and invite success in my life each day. I change all the elements that are needed for my greater good on all levels. I invite and manifest abundance, health, and wisdom every day of my life. I am worthy of success and I invite success into my life right now. I am changing all the elements needed for my greater good on all levels. I'm manifesting and inviting abundance, health, and wisdom each day of my life. I am worthy of beneficial change. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of abundance. I manifest beneficial change on all levels. I manifest success. I manifest abundance, wisdom, and health. I am the change for my greater good. I am success. I am abundance, wisdom, and health. And I accept the divinity within me to manifest every day of my life for my greater good on all levels. I manifest the divinity in me every day of my life for my greater good on all levels. I manifest the divinity within me for my greater good on all levels each day of my life. I manifest the divinity within me on all levels for my greater good each day of my life. I am presence. I am presence. I am presence. And I am one with divinity. I am one with divinity. I am one with divinity. Breathe. Visualize universal life force energy flowing through the crown chakra all the way through your body, to the core of your body. And you can say a prayer if you want, or a mantra in your verbally or mentally. When you feel ready, you can gently come back to your physical body, awareness, from an awareness perspective, and gently open your eyes. So this is a simple exercise that you can use. Doesn't have to be the exact algorithms or the exact affirmations that I was using. There can be others. There can be ones that are made by you, more complex or more simpler. It's really up to you. Doesn't need to be the same. These are just examples. That's why they were not exactly the same, because this is what I felt for the moment. If you want, you can make a perfect sheet, Excel, whatever it is, Word document, or just piece of paper, and write them down if you really want to. What matters is the intention. And affirmations, I don't want to digress, but affirmations work mostly and extremely efficient when you start working with yourself. So the change must happen within you. The healing process, Reiki can help for that. Raise the vibration, dissolve negative programs, thoughts, projections, false beliefs about you or about the world or about others. Meditation, the same, can help. Just spending time in nature and spending time with yourself. All those holistic spiritual approaches can help you raise the vibration and have a healthy mindset. So change comes from within. Change is the first one that must occur before you begin to actually manifest certain elements in your life. And that's when affirmations work the best. If you place affirmations without working on yourself, you're gonna be quite stressed every day, because it's like placing your dirt under the rug, pretending it's clean. It's not clean. You need to throw that garbage away first, and then properly clean that place. And then you can benefit from a clean place. That's the way it works. And you have to take that into account, that affirmations work best when you have worked with yourself or are in the process of working with yourself. They come as a complementary layer. It's that crust that helps that food product or pizza or whatever it you want to imagine, like, be placed perfectly. All those elements, the rest ingredients, which are actually the main dish, those are the ones that mean working with yourself, healing, dissolving negative programs, beliefs, such as the ones I mentioned today. So don't worry, you are ready and you are open to success and you are worthy for it. As long as you are doing it for your greater good and maybe for the greater good of others, or at least you're not affecting others in the process, be sure that you are meant for and worthy of engaging or tapping into at least into the steps for success. And then it's really up to you to go forward towards what you need to achieve. That depends on you. That depends on what your preferences are and how success looks for you. Remember that. We reached the end of this video and thank you for staying the whole length. Hope you enjoyed it and don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe so that other spiritual practitioners, Reiki enthusiasts can find content just like this one. Also, we can join the 21 Reiki challenge, which is basically a free day-by-day Reiki practice. We practice together for half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes sometimes. We practice for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then we have for the rest remaining time a breathing exercise. We have a meditation maybe, or maybe we have a Reiki technique that can really change your practice and allow you to stay consistent and have a wider perspective about what Reiki can offer you and for your life, and maybe for dear ones as well. So with that being said, thank you for being here and have a blessed day. Blessings to you, and I see you in the next video.